In the heat of World War II, countries resorted to using any means possible to get ahead, including espionage. The countries, Germany, Italy, and Japan, were the main sources of spies for the Axis powers. Spies were the backbone for the intelligence gathered during the war. They provided the opportunity for countries to decipher what their enemy was planning next. This brings us to the ultimate question. How much of an impact did Axis spies have on the outcome of World War II? But first, let's break down how the Axis spies operated between countries. Germany's intelligence and counterintelligence was divided into several agencies, the main of which was the Abwehr.
The term Abwehr is German for defense, which was the original function of the organization, but under the direction of Wilhelm Canaris, it became a center for espionage, sabotage, and counterintelligence. Due to speculation from the SS for being anti-Hitler, however, Canaris was mistrusted by the Nazis, and much of his information was not accepted as conflict with the SS arose. This inefficiency in the Abwehr was also caused by the fact that Canaris hired Jews, which furthered the tension with the SS.
In addition, the
Sicherheitsdienst
was the intelligence branch for the Nazi paramilitary organization. Japan's intelligence and counterintelligence agency operated mainly through independent espionage and sabotage. The Japanese training facility was called the Nakano. Here, spies learned the ins and outs of espionage. Italy's intelligence agencies were the most independent of each other, with the Navy, Army, and Air Force operating intelligence programs separately. And now, it's joke time.
What's a spy's favorite kind of shoes? Sneakers.
Although many spies partook in World War II, only a select few actually had an influence. Some of the most impactful spies included Alessa Banza of Germany, Takeo Yoshikawa of Japan, and Otto Skorzeny of Italy. Alessa Banza, also known by his codename Cicero, was responsible for handing Germany much of their intelligence. So much so that Germany hesitated to believe in his accuracy, as he provided significantly more information than any of their other spies. Some of the information he provided included detailed reports from Allied conferences, intel on the invasion of Normandy, and documents predicting the Allied bombing of the Balkans.
Because of Cicero's previous training as a locksmith, he had access to the safe of his boss, a British ambassador. His position as the ambassador's guard gave him the opportunity to take pictures of documents detailing war strategies and negotiations with Turkey over them entering the war, which he then sold to Germany. Additional information that he sold to Germany included telegrams that were exchanged between Stalin, Churchill, and Roosevelt about Allied plans. His work as a spy was later drawn upon for inspiration for the movie Five Fingers.
Although Cicero was praised by Hitler, he later discovered he was paid in counterfeit money. And now, joke time.
What does a spy do when he's cold? He goes undercover.
However, Cicero was not the only influential spy operating out of Germany. There was also a spy ring functioning under the direction of Fritz Duquesne. Their goal was to gain information on America and its position in the war. Information gathered by Duquesne and his spy ring included directions on how to start fires at industrial plants, as well as photographs and plans for bombs being made in the U.S. The entire spy ring was exposed at poor timing for the Axis powers, as America had joined the war only days before. And now, it's time for another joke break.
Why did the spy cross the road? Because he was never really on your side.
Japan's most effective spy was Takeo Yoshikawa. Preceding the bombing of Pearl Harbor, he arrived in Hawaii posed as a diplomat and proceeded to provide key information on to the Japanese military on the whereabouts of American ships. In addition, he provided a schedule on the departures and arrivals of the ships and the specific locations where the ships were docked.
Takeo's method of spying was very discreet, and he made sure never to have any maps, cameras, or documents with him, and never took physical notes while making observations on Pearl Harbor. Takeo's background as a Japanese naval officer also added to his cover as he fit readily into the environment, allowing him to gain information with relative ease.
This information helped Japan formulate an attack plan on Pearl Harbor. Otto Skorzeny, a spy who worked out of Italy, was responsible for the rescue of Benito Mussolini from the Italian king, as well as the disruption of Allied lines during Operation Grief. Hitler believed that Mussolini was the key to keeping Italy in the war, so he ordered Scorzny to free him. After Scorzny freed him, Mussolini supposedly exclaimed, "I knew my friend Hitler would not leave me in the lurch."
Scorzny's work in freeing Mussolini, also known as Operation Eich, allowed the fascist leader to be in control as a puppet leader in northern Italy until he was captured and killed in 1945.
Scorzny's other significant mission, which contributed to the Axis efforts, was Operation Grief, in which he disguised his English-speaking men and sent them behind enemy lines to disrupt Allied convoys and sabotage communications between headquarters.
Although Operation Grief did not achieve any major accomplishment, the fake soldiers created a lot of confusion among the Allied troops. In the process of trying to capture the fake soldiers, many Allied soldiers were detained, and operations had to be stopped. General Dwight D. Eisenhower was even kept under house arrest because of rumors that were spread by captured fraudulent soldiers that the general was going to be murdered. Although it did not have a lot of significance, Operation Grief gave the Axis powers time to try to decide what was the best plan of action moving forward.
And now, it's time for a joke.
What spy is the best at swimming? James Pond.
In the end, it could be argued that all of the mentioned events may have occurred without the influence of espionage, but the work of these agents expedited their occurrence and propelled the war effort. Axis spies were a catalyst for key events, including Pearl Harbor, and the information they provided was utilized on multiple occasions. While espionage had a great influence on specific events, their work did not specifically impact the outcome of World War II as a whole due to hesitant belief and misinformation. And now, to conclude, we're going to have story time with Ellie Jensen.
Did you know the Allied soldiers started drawing a small cartoon with the words "Kilroy was here," so much so that Hitler and Stalin actually believed it was a real spy?